let me tell Zonin
No.
fans, if you want Kool-Aid just like Zonin, my channel got all the flavors of, oh my goodness. Since we have a gathering of kings, it makes sense to talk about our sponsor for this video, Era of Kings, a giant One Piece MMORPG server which allows for each player to play with so much freedom. With over 70 custom classes and devil fruits, you can completely customize your gameplay. You can also expect a very welcoming community with constant player activity along with content that can last for endless hours of playtime. Go and explore the Grand Line, level up and get stronger stats, or even become a blacksmith and forge the perfect weapon. The server has a custom equipment system with over 500 items to choose from and play with, including accessories, wares, gloves, and belts. There's also a custom stat system which allows you to create your own path, choose whatever fruit you like, and customize your own combat style and way of fighting. No two players will be the same. Era of Kings is an awesome game with expansive unique lore and no spoilers, allowing for anyone, especially longtime One Piece fans, to have a fun time exploring a new world with exciting One Piece content. And if you want to support me, use code ParVision in the store if you are planning to buy anything. The Discord link to join is in the description and pinned comment below. Alright, so we're here for a discussion on post chapter 1071 or 1079. I keep on doing that. That's so weird. I think I did that with you, Sai.
Wait, what?
I accidentally said 1071 instead of 1079.
No, it's the same thing. 1071, 1079, they're the same chapter.
Yeah, we're in the last saga. All these chapters are the same. They're heat, they're fire. We're getting a lot of excitement. And, you know, to amp up the excitement, we got Zone in here, who I've never collabed with, but I'm excited to have here. And you guys know me. In terms of my theories and discussions, I don't like being in an echo bubble. And a lot of my outlandish ideas, start to become less outlandish, but I've been finding out in the community because, you know, Sai helped me discover Reddit and these forums, and a lot of people still are sleeping on these various...
Help discover Reddit. I love the way that sounds. Like, I showed you the internet for a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I don't go there, but like, you know, you were my chaperone for the day. You know what I mean? Like, that was
yeah.
And I didn't go back there because it's a scary place out there. But do you guys see a world where and we'll start with Zonin, where Haki is going to introduce new concepts, and something that my first video on my channel essentially was elemental Haki, where a lot of these elemental things where you point out, like heat, how does he breathe fire? Is it a devil fruit? No, it's not a confirmed devil fruit. But that's not just that. Throughout every single arc, there's a character who can use firepower, and it's explicitly not a devil fruit. And there's electricity powers. There's also water powers. Water powers are not tied to Fishman anymore. We see Robin and Koala, both humans, using Fishman karate. So every single element has been shown outside of that. And now that Shanks also has a fiery sword, he didn't show it here, but it is confirmed in Volume 4 Billion. Do you see that being the power ceiling, or is that just something that's random and we're gonna get more of the same in terms of Haki? How do you see the end of One Piece like looking when it comes to these Shanks kind of characters?
So yeah, I do think that there is like a nuanced application of Haki where you can generate, I don't know necessarily all of the elements, but definitely fire. That's the most common one. You know, Diablo Jambe, Red Hawk, what Shanks is doing in Film Red. It seems like anybody can do it if you're just capable. And it's never been outright stated by Oda, so I guess he's just waiting to reveal that, like, hey, we can just do this, guys. And then that's like the next meta, just like fire attacks, or if they can manipulate water or something like that. I don't think we'll see any kind of water people, because that's kind of like, in my opinion, what Emu's thing is. And that's a whole other video that we can talk about. But fire, for sure, is definitely the next level thing. But other than that, what the next like highest level top abilities could be at this point, man, I was really liking that dimension stuff that you were talking about, because that's kind of like where other series go. Like, even I know you guys probably don't follow One Punch Man, but that's kind of like where One Punch Man is headed to. Like the highest level is like going to another dimension and then figuring out things there. So yeah, I mean, that very likely could happen. But other than that, I think we're just going to see, I don't want to say Dragon Ball Z fights, but it's going to be something like that. Like,
Dragon Ball Z mixed with Tom and Jerry.
Yeah, Kamusaris everywhere, sensing stuff. Yeah. So I just see the level just keep going up and up, and then every fight is going to make like Whitebeard and Rogers clash look very tame.
Yes. Yeah, and it's tame because we were only given a glimpse, right? And like I think even now a lot of the community comes back to the point where it's like the fire powers, Sanji specifically, is explained through Lunarian stuff, but you can't explain all of the other, you can't say everybody is Lunarian, right? Doflamingo also has a literal laser beam of fire, and some people think it's friction. It's like, yeah, he's moving his string so fast back and forth that it makes a laser beam that like slices mountains off. Like, cool, right? And I agree with you, right? Like, I have an entire video that explains why the water, why Koala, why Robin is able to use the powers, and now I can maybe even add Law's crew, because there's a thematic tie that I had for it. And so to give you a quick whiplash moment, and then we'll move, I'll ask Saya, is my agenda, not agenda, but my perspective is that anything that is capable of devil fruits is capable of Haki. It's just devil fruits are kind of like a USB drive of like a hack. Like, this is like this set of power and you get access to it, but it doesn't necessarily give you the lead up to it, right? That's why we see people that can access variations of powers, and I would imagine like not everybody can use Katakuri's power the same way he does, because he also uses his observation Haki to boost it. And like Anel, right, if he has observation Haki, maybe not everybody could read people's thoughts and movements and like Anel does. And so in that line of context, I see that the Haki powers will get to a place where devil fruits are, and even dwarf them in some niche instances, where it won't be that devil fruits will be obsolete. No, it's like not everybody will be able to reach that, but certain set of people, Shanks like characters, Luffy like characters, Blackbeard like characters, they might, and Emu like characters will be able to use Haki to demonstrate devil fruit powers. And we kind of been seeing that, where it's like Law was able to recreate Corazon's fruit, Luffy's able to create fire as well, and it's like you gotta add, if you're relying on the devil fruit to explain it every single time, then you're lost on all the other instances where we do see it. So I'm kind of curious, how do you see that? If that's, you know, the dimension stuff still fits in too, where it's like the other dimensional stuff, well, if devil fruits can bring us to another dimension, then I'm saying Haki can as well, right? And even in Film Red, we saw a moment where through observation Haki, Usopp and Yasop were able to transcend that through just Haki. Neither of them have devil fruits, right? So do you see that as a future for One Piece, where it's like Haki can be as absurd and as crazy as that? And it goes back to that line with Vegapunk, where he says, like, you know, they're essentially the desires, they're born out of desires. What do you
I was just going to bring that up, because I think that's, I don't know, we're kind of going into like One Piece string theory stuff here, but like if you boil it down, Vegapunk said that devil fruits are the hopes and dreams of people. And then I guess you can relate that to quote unquote will, whatever Haki is tapping into, whatever you need to manipulate to make this supernatural force come to be. So I guess that is plausible, right? If your like hopes and dreams are what are creating the devil fruits. We don't know the process. I assume Emu planted a seed and made this tree, and then, I don't know, sacrificed people to it, similar to what Kaguya does in Naruto,
right?
And that's how they get the hopes and the dreams or whatever, and the fruits become what they are, something like that. So it's possible that you can just organically do that yourself if you're strong enough. It's like, I need to make fire, or I need to have the ability to, I don't know, magnetism or something like that. And you can just manifest it because you have access to this power that can just make things tangible like that if you want it enough. And saying it even more makes it seem likely, because that's what Luffy is all about. Hopes and dreams, you know, helping people, making sure that not only his comes to fruition, but the people with worthy dreams, you know, helping them to achieve it as well. So it's possible that we can get to this point at the end of the series where it's like, you know, here are our hopes and dreams, Luffy, you know, take it to the end. And then he just has everybody's abilities, essentially.
Yeah.
He just starts whipping out all the elements, all the devil fruits.
Yeah.
And he's like, you can do it too.
I can see him pulling out the minimum, maximum, the ones that he fought, right? Because those are the ones he understood, and that's kind of what it felt like. Certain aspects, right? Like Snake Man kind of resembled like Bellamy. He actually pulled it out after he fought with Bellamy, and the second, in Dressrosa, he pulled out Snake Man, and like you put panel by panel, it resembled how Bellamy bounces off the wall, Snake Man bouncing off thing. And I have multiple videos about that, but I that perspective is super. I think it's like you can get lost in where we are in One Piece and see that it's not possible, but hearing from you and then also Sai, like, what do you think about that too? Because I know I don't actually ask you this often when we get together. How do you feel about this elemental direction? That I think it makes sense considering we didn't like Volume 4 Billion said that, and we still don't see that as Shanks, right? So that's later on, and that's probably where it's going to be explained, right?
Yeah. So
before you go,
what's up?
Sai, I just want to say one more thing. I'm sorry. It
What's
could
up?
also, one of the big endings, and Oda loves Dragon Ball. Goku forming the Genki Dama with everyone's energy, all coming together. They all collectively make the final attack to defeat the big bad.
Yes.
And the Genki Dama is like, what is it? Like the hopes and spirits of mankind?
Yup.
I'm down with it.
There's going, man. Oh man. So okay. Right before you answer, Sai. So one of the things, and this is like literally the first YouTube video I made because I used to be on TikTok. It was essentially saying that like that sage energy from like Naruto, like the natural energy stuff, that's where we're gonna get to, where they're like, and we are. Vegapunk says that there's energy in everywhere and everything, and so I see it as like I don't know if you know film Stampede, where like Luffy gets a giant like gun, like a fist thing, right? And Bajran gun, I could easily see it like a spirit bomb, but in Luffy's fist, and it just gets sized up based off the hopes and dream of everyone. And it sounds goofy, but then that's like the parallel there. Like he gets a spirit gun, Bajran gun type of thing. It feels like One Piece. But Sai, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, as far as elemental Haki goes, I can see it happening. I feel like there are instances in the series you can reference and be like, okay, is Oda being goofy here, or is he actually, doing something with this? Is this gonna go somewhere? So if elemental Haki does come out in the series later, I'm totally cool with it. If it doesn't, that's fine too. I think Oda has built up the series to where anything he kind of does would just make sense, right?
Yeah.
He's put himself in a good place,
to like
a good
add
position.
on to
Lots
what
of
you're
cards.
saying, right? Like even pre-time skip, these elemental powers were there. Like randomly, some dude had a lightning sword. Some people, before we got to know Electro, a lot even from Barate, fire. Kabaji could breathe fire on Buggy's crew. Pearl from Barate, fire. So many people have been able to just use that heat now, right? It's like a consistent thing that almost seems similar to how Haki was introduced, right? So many times in pre-time skip, or not so many times, but later on in the pre-time skip, where like we kind of just like saw like some invisible thing and we're like, yeah, sure. Like Rayleigh when he touched like Kizaru's thing, it wasn't contextualized until the very end, but Oda dripped the concept there. And this elemental thing, one of the biggest things that people say, and what you said, Sai, is like they don't see it that way, where it's like anything that Oda can introduce, but specifically elemental Haki, would make sense because Oda treated it just like how armament Haki conquers everything was, because it has been there the entire time, just not explained outright. And so, is there any other final points, Zonin, Sai, that you have on that? Because that's mainly, I just appreciate that I don't feel gaslit anymore, because you guys are smart individuals that see the same light.
I could always see elemental Haki, and especially with Shanks, no matter whether it's elemental Haki or not, I feel like the story and the ceiling, the strength cap, the power scaling, everything just got raised up a notch because of that latest chapter. And you have to wonder, like, how is Luffy gonna grow? Luffy has Gear 5th, But can Shanks get taken out with Gear 5th? Could Blackbeard be taken out with Gear 5th? What about the Goto say, there's always going to be another level. And who knows? Maybe it's just Gear 6, you know? Maybe Oda's going to get goofy, just throw that out there.
Yeah.
But there's going to be something. We just don't know what it is. So if it is Elemental Haki, I'm cool with that. Maybe Luffy does whip out more fire-based attacks. But then again, that could also just be a thing with his Sun God Nika Fruit. I wanted to go to Brook because Brook has like the whole like freezing and ice abilities, but he does say that's the chill of the underworld, and he does attribute his devil fruit to doing that rather than his sword or Haki itself. So that's even kind of a rough one. But like I said, I think Oda's put himself in a good position, especially not just like with power scaling and One Piece characters in general, but just the way he goes about his story. It could be comical 1 minute, it could be sad the next, it could be, you know, super logical the next minute. Like he can kind of do anything he wants. Like he said, he wants this to be a goofy story. He wants it's a little bit ridiculous. Luffy has the most ridiculous power in the world. If he does throw an elemental Haki, it wouldn't be the most ridiculous thing out there. I can see why people are on board with this idea.
Yeah, yeah.
The hard one is water. Like I don't know who's going to have water-based attacks though. I feel like that's something reserved for like the final villain.
I have it predicted. No, in the final Emu would actually, you know, I have multiple explanations for the water thing, but the specific thing that ties Robin and Koala together, it would make 100% sense with all of my explanations that Emu would have that power because, you know, I should add this, like if I do get Zonin viewers onto the channel, it'd be very new, like who is this guy talking about this random stuff, right? So just to like breeze through some of the things, like one of the major things is elemental Haki, right? But like I had a video called Mind Rope that basically said that Shanks would demonstrate a power of presence erasure, which was what was said to us in volume 4 billion, and I made that video like 2 years ago, and in that same video I said that Shanks would be a character that shows us observation Haki, future sight, to a degree like no other, and then we see a future sight where we're questioning, is it minutes, is it hours, is it days? Like we don't even know at this point, and this is just the taste of it. And then obviously the other part of it is elemental Haki. So I have a bunch of videos which I'll link in this video to if you guys want to hop to those videos, Elemental Haki, Mind Rope, a few others, why Kid has shit Haki, it ties back to all of this, but then more than anything there's a Sanji video, because I think Sanji is the most important crux to the power system that Oda's designing for the last saga, which is why he took so much time in developing him. I think this chapter exemplifies so much about what Oda is trying to show us, in what he wants us to expect in the last saga. This is just the taste. This is not even the appetizers. This is like him dripping like the tastiest like fountain of youth into our mouth, and we're waiting for it. So, but yeah, Zonin, do you have anything left, anything to add, or anything? You know, one thing about it is, you know, I love connecting my viewers to everywhere else. So if there's, and you're a new person on my channel, I'd be remiss if I didn't, you know, let yourself, you know, let people know what you do and what to expect from you.
Never come to my channel.
There we go.
Never
Same
go
here.
there.
I'm on the same boat.
Never go. No, go to Sai's channel. All right?
Don't go there.
Channel. No, he's gaslighting.
We're just random people Par found off the street. Please send help. I don't even know what One Piece is.
I agree with Par for sure. A little too much. Now we're gonna become our own echo chamber, something that you wanted to escape, but it's fine.
Oh no.
I love that. There was many times across like the videos that you had and Sai had that I was just like, wait. Zonin and me are on the wavelength together right now.
Yeah, Par just found people that believed in his ideas, and then he brought them here. It's just biased.
That's not
like, hey, do you want to collab? But also, before we collab, elemental Haki.
Yeah.
Imagine
do you like water, son? What about fire?
I'm someone who drinks the KoolAid, so if you like supply it, I'm on board.
Oh, let me tell Zonin fans, if you want KoolAid just like Zonin, my channel got all the flavors of, oh my goodness, like to the point where you know, the echo chamber thing. Hey, if you guys to beat the allegations, I literally sat and argued with King of Lightning for 4 hours about it, pushing back on every single thing because he countered it and he believes in it. And by the end of it, I made him believe in it. So maybe I brought him into the echo chamber too. But like the point of it is, thank you, Zonin, for being here. Thank you, Sai, but Zonin especially for gracing me with your presence and sharing your voice. And hopefully we talk more. And excited. So guys, go if you just clarifications. You cover mainly spoiler content on your channel for One Piece, right?
Yes.
So know that of my viewers, but you guys already know Sai's poison. Zonin drinks similar poison. Apparently, he drinks the Kool-Aid and the poison. It's fine.
Poison's the best.
Yeah, and you know I don't have anything against spoilers. It's just the lack of control that there is on the internet. But
It's like they say in all the studies, spoilers make chapters better.
hey, and I actually want to make a video about that because you guys have people who are already poisoned. So like I want to make a video about that on my channel, and you guys would be great guests to talk about.
Universities have studied it and they have proven spoilers do not make things worse. They actually make it better.
Yeah, maybe you do a live stream. No, we'll talk
Link
about
in
it.
the description below.
So
It
with
is
that,
factual.
Yeah, I could talk for an hour about how spoilers are superior to just following it regularly.
ooh,
Hey, all I have to say is that university studies would have your back, Zonin. You know, there might be like 40% of people who are like, I don't believe that. But you know what? I just got to advocate for the spoiler people.
yeah, I'm all about
They-
learning
they-
and
they are
presenting
there.
facts.
The research, the science is there.
This is why I like you guys. I did not vet Zonin. I'm guys, this is not what happens on the channel. But with that, guys, thank you for listening into this relatively shorter conversation because I usually post 2-hour conversations. But hopefully you guys like this shorter format. Let me know what you guys think, and then definitely leave a comment on what you think about Elemental Haki. But also, if you have counters to it, let me know because I'm crafting the video that once it's made, it's going to literally explain everything, but then on top of that it'll be something that if you come across someone who doesn't understand it or doubts it, you can just send it their way because it's definitely a difficult thing to explain. So thank you guys, thank you Sai and Zonin, talk to you guys soon, see you guys later. And so like always, thank you for connecting with me, and I'm looking forward to connecting with you all on the next ParVision.